So I got like 5 minutes now. So 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink 32 ounces of water in the first 5 minutes. And I'm going to do 60 seconds of explosive exercise. So jumping jacks, explosive push-ups, shadow boxing, jump rope, just 60 seconds to get me up and running, get you from that parasympathetic nervous system, like that rest and digest they were kind of coming out of for sleep, move right over to sympathetic. So now we're shake and bake, baby. Like we're ready to roll for the day. So you're gonna get more energy from those two behaviors than waking up when a lot of dudes just like pour a cup of coffee with one eye shut and drink that,
Yeah.
So that's something
We don't stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising.
Welcome to Body Sculpt of New York 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast, where we hope to inform, motivate, encourage, and inspire you towards living a healthier lifestyle. And now, here's your host, the president of Body Sculpt of New York, Vince Ferguson.
Hi, I'm Vince Ferguson. Welcome to 6 Weeks of Fitness, episode 181. Thank you so much for joining us today. Nate Palmer is a fitness and nutrition expert, coach, speaker, and writer who believes that being in incredible shape gives a massive advantage in business, focus, and relationships. He's also a dad, a husband, and the #1 best-selling author of The $1 Million Body Method and Passport Fitness. Nate helps business owners and entrepreneurs improve their physique, finances, who don't want to hear about that, and family time using fitness and nutrition as force multipliers. And here today on 6 Weeks of Fitness to discuss how to begin building a $1 million body during the holidays is Nate Palmer. Nate, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I was going to ask you though, do you know what the average amount of podcasts that a person will do when they first start a new podcast?
No, how many?
18. 18 is the average before someone stops.
You kidding?
So you have hit 10x the average number of episodes on your podcast. That is so sick. Congratulations, Vince. It's incredible accomplishment.
You're already starting off on a positive note. I love it, bro. I feel inspired just hearing that today.
You should be. I mean, that's impressive work, man. That's dedication. That's consistency. That's all the stuff we talk about as trainers, right?
Exactly, man. You got to be consistent, whatever you want to do in life, man. And you apply it to your health as well as to your business, which is so cool. But before we talk about building that $1 million body, Nate, tell my listeners and viewers, because this is audio and video, tell them, where did Nate Palmer grow up and what was his childhood like?
So I feel like, I grew up in Phoenix. I'm from Arizona, been here a minute, but I'm living back here now. But I really feel like a lot of where my passion for training and fitness comes from. I think a lot of guys are like, oh, I was into martial arts. I played sports, like that was kind of fueled me. I played in college and I became a trainer afterwards. That was not my story. I really started getting into fitness after an event that happened to me when I was younger. I was 11 or 12. And I was at home by myself. My mom had taken my two sisters and taken them to school. So I was by myself in the house. Someone knocks on the door. I don't recognize him. Don't let him in. He comes around the back. He breaks a window, comes into my house. I'm 12 years old.
Yeah.
I'm just so scared, man. And I'm not saying I'm scared of this guy, because for sure scared of someone in my house, but I was also scared to call the police. I didn't want to get in trouble, I just had this kind of fear mentality.
Wow.
Didn't know what to do, freaking out and stuff. So I grab a steak knife. I go hide under my bed with the steak knife, ready to stab somebody in the face if they come into my room. Lock the little rinky dink door lock on my door. And I hear this man coming down the hallway, just boom, boom, boom on the hardwood floors of my house, and then pounds on my bedroom door. I'm like, oh shit, it's over for me. I'm peeing my pants,
Oh, yeah.
And it was in that moment that I think that I had kind of if I survived this, and spoiler alert, I made it.
Yeah.
I was I don't ever want anyone to take my power again like this. I don't want to ever feel this kind of powerlessness, someone else has removed my autonomy.
Yes.
And so in my 12-year-old brain, I was like, you know what I need to do then? Get bigger and stronger. I want to have so much muscle armor on me that no one can ever mess with me ever again.
Yes. Wow.
And so he ended up stealing some DVD players and some jewelry and stuff and leaving. I called my 75-year-old grandpa and he was like, why didn't you call the police? And I was like, that's a good idea. Good call.
Yeah.
So police come, it's a whole thing. But like at that point, and I mean, I didn't like jump into it and start like bulking up. I spent the next 7 years being a real dum-dum about exercise. But that was kind of like the thing. I was always just like wanted to get bigger and stronger. I was always obsessed with that. I always wanted to like, looking at the back of like big protein canisters, being like, man, how do I get like super muscles like this Rocky McPower biceps on the back here?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I started. I went to University of Arizona when I was going to college, and I was getting a business degree, and I just wasn't into it. I didn't like it. I was like, I would just go put up with my classes, and then I'd get home and I would read Ask Men, T Nation, Men's Health, Breaking Muscle, all these websites that I thought were really great information about health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, all this stuff. And I loved it. I read all the archives of all these websites, hundreds and hundreds of articles. And when I got done with school, I graduated in just the bountiful job market of 2009.
Yeah.
Like,
No
jobs, right?
No jobs at all. Exactly.
Everyone's like, hey, you need 16 years of experience to get our entry-level position. And I was like, so I was like, you know what I'll do is I'll just become a trainer until I figure out what it is I want to do with my life when I grow up. And I loved it, So naturally I worked for like a year as a trainer, and then I quit. And I was like, gotta get a real job, gotta grow up.
Yeah.
And thank God I didn't, because I was like, I knew the first day I got this office job, day one of training, I'm sitting down there and someone starts talking to me and I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. This is horrible.
Yes.
And so I lasted about 3 months there. And one of my mentors at the time, I've been really blessed to have some incredible mentors in my life who talk real to me. He was like, man, you need to get out of that job. You need to open a gym. I was like,
Really?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So I did opened a gym up in Scottsdale, and it was awesome, man. I had some great clients, another like couple of great training mentors, people who were really into physiology, stretching, flexibility, learned a lot about the systems of the body. So, and I was like, this business is killing it. I love it so much. I love working with golfers. So I sold the business and I quit. And my wife and I moved to Seattle without jobs, without friends, without anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you do there?
Well, we ended up finding jobs. So I ended up working at a gym down called Pro Sports Club, which is this insane gym. Is amazing. 150 trainers. Everyone is obsessed with learning. Monthly, like continuing education. They had this gym had everything. Like basketball court. It has the basketball court from like the Supersonics world champion or like national championship. It has seven different pools. It has a medical spa. It has a physical therapy location. It has an auto spa, florist, dry cleaner. This place was bonkers. And I just loved working there, learned some really amazing stuff, being part of the team. So loved the job so much that my wife and I sold all of our stuff in Seattle and ended up moving to South America for a year.
Really? Really? Unbelievable. South America. Now, did you also go there and start working out and opened up a gym in South America?
No, we started using this website called workaway.info as a way of finding places where we could post up for 6 weeks, 3 months or whatever and work. So worked on an organic farm for a couple months. Then my wife got a crazy staph infection. That's a story for another day. But okay. I got third-degree burns from a trash fire. Went to 9 hospitals in Panama and 7 different cities, and then ended up on a floating barge in the middle of Lake Gatun, which is the lake that feeds Panama Canal, doing tours. So I was doing tours in the Panama Canal, taking people to see monkeys. Really? And the whole time I'm building out an online arm of my business. I've got clients. I've been working for now 7 years as a trainer. So I've been reaching out to people and building up an online business and basically shipping off Excel workouts.
Really?
Like this goblet squat, 3 sets, 12 reps. You know what I mean? Huh. And I'd have this small segment of clients who love working out and they got results. And then all these other people who don't love working out are not getting any results. I was like, that's something weird. Probably need to film more videos. Right. So I filmed 400, 500 videos and started shipping out you have the links in there now. That'll help. That'll get you the results you're looking for. Didn't get the results they were looking for. I was like, you know what? I just need an app then. Got an app. Still didn't really work. So fast forward another year, my wife and I moved back to Arizona in 2016. I kind of start building out a business at that point called Bod in a Box. It's based off of this first book I wrote called Passport Fitness. So I brought a TRX with me everywhere I went in South America. So I was working out all kinds of crazy places, 10,000 feet of elevation, working out in the Peruvian Andes, doing working out in the middle of this like Parque Central in Colombia. Like people like looking at me. I thought this guy was gonna stab me one time. Came over, brought me a beer instead. Drank a beer with him during my workout.
Really?
So I was like, hey, here's if you want to stay in shape while you're traveling, you got to use this stuff. So I would give out I would put together a product. So it was TRX suspension trainer. It was a couple bands and some sliders, and then I had workouts with video links. You already know. And I was like, you know what people need? They need this stuff. They need to buy this stuff. I was like, I'm Peloton building, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
surprisingly enough, still not getting results. The people who needed this program, who's like, I love TRX. They're like, I already do Orange Theory. I already go to spin class. I already have a gym membership. I got a habit. And the people who are like, I need help. I need weight loss. I need like results. Giving them equipment, especially like a TRX, is like a little complicated. It's a high barrier of entry. So no one's like hands on. So they weren't doing it. In fact, someone was like, I reached out to someone. I was like, hey, how's the workouts going? And they're like, I can't figure out how to use my equipment. And I was like, no problem. Let me come over. I'll help you out. So I came over to this person's house. It's not what I do, but I was like, I gotta help. I gotta make sure that these people understand. So I go over and I was like, all right, bust it out. Let's put it on the door. Let's do these things. And they bring out the unopened package to me. Like, you couldn't figure out how to use a zip tie. Like, that's the problem. So I kind of went back to the drawing board in 2018. And I had a client who was out here in Phoenix building a roofing business. And he's like, yo, I have 4 kids at home. I drive 14 hours a day. I got 40 pounds to lose, but I'm not going to work out. I don't have time for it. But my energy sucks. I drink 2 Bang energies a day. I get home. I got to relax on the couch for 30 minutes before I can see my family. I just can't think. I'm just feeling horrible. What can you do for me? I was like, good question. Like, let me think about that. And he's like, oh, I also will be eating out 5 times per week. Deal with it. And I was like, okay, all right. Like, let's go. So I put together a plan that was all based on like nutrient timing and eating specific things, and also worked into his schedule. Like, hey, you're going to eat out. You're going to have this food at this restaurant. Here are your 5 options, whatever. And he, like 2 months later, we're talking. He's like, dude, amazing. Really? I get home and I have so much energy. I play with my kids. My wife's like, you're a new man. You're more like the man I married. I'm like, oh, dude, incredible. Jason, I'm so happy to hear that. He goes, oh yeah, by the way, I lost 22 pounds in the last 2 months. And I was like,
exactly.
We might have just done something. Like, we might be onto something here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the premise of the $1 Million Body Method came from, is the idea that entrepreneurs, business owners, busy dads need to be eating to maximize their energy throughout the day so they can do the shit that's important to them. Yeah. And then what happens is the weight loss, the fitness results, they come. When we prioritize the energy, everything else falls into place. For most of us, we're trying to square peg in a round hole, eating 6 times a day, chicken and rice. And even if we do get results, which I think results are easy to come by, man. Like, anyone can eat tilapia and broccoli and lose weight, right?
Right.
But at the end of the month, they lost a bunch of weight and they hate themselves and they hate me. And that's not good. And it's not sustainable.
No.
So if we can give them something that helps connect to a deeper why, you want better relationship success. You want more better quality time with your kids. You want to be focused in the present moment with your wife. You want to be financially secure and free so you can be focused at work. Okay, well, that's why you got to eat this in the morning, not because of your abs, because that's fleeting, right? Like most people, I don't know how many people you train for their wedding. I'm sure quite a bit. They're the best clients ever, right? You're training for your wedding. They're dedicated every day, showing up early, getting their cardio in, and then day of the wedding, what happens? Boop, no more dedication. It's gone, right? They hit their goal. They're done.
Exactly.
So we got to bring people back full circle. What's your why? That's why you eat like this. What's your who do you care about? That's why you train like this. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I've just been ranting. I'm sorry.
Well, this is really good, though. I mean, you basically showed us where you are today, what brought you to this point, and why you created the $1 Million Body Method, okay? And that's important because I wanted to find out from you, what's in the book, okay? Now you're talking about the nutrition guidance that you give people, and you talk about how it's able to benefit those who are, understand, entrepreneurs, those who are looking to have better finances. But now we're coming into the holiday season. And my program, we talk a lot about obesity, weight loss, and during the pandemic, a lot of people gained weight, and now they're trying to get it off, but they also want to keep it off. But the problem is that coming into the holidays where we gain most of the weight. So what would you tell your clients to do if you have a client who wants to begin building that body, and it's the holiday season? How do they prepare to do that?
Well, I feel like I would have multiple answers to this question depending on at what point in my life and career you asked me this.
Yeah.
If you would ask me this 5 years ago, I'd be like, yo, Vince, you got to train, bro. You got to get it done. Get in there, get some heavy squats. Let's go, beast mode.
Right.
If you had talked to me maybe 2 years ago, I'd have been like, hey, we just need to focus on your nutrition. We need to make sure we have a couple good, make sure we get some really good days, get some streaks in. Make sure we have a fast in here a certain way. Here's a couple tactics you can do. Making sure you have protein shakes, not overeating the sweets. Keep it out of your house. Give them tactics, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think either of those answers are wrong. But my answer right now today would be, you got to analyze your mindset. You got to analyze where you're coming from this, like where you're coming at this from, because like at the end of the day, there's info on YouTube, right? There's bodybuilding information. There's nothing new under the sun, right? If you want to put this together, all the information is available to you. There's 234 million results if you look at health and fitness routine on Google.
Yes.
So much information. So it's not information we're lacking. It's not tactics we're lacking. We got those. You can use $1 Million Body. You can use keto. You can use whatever you want. There's a lot of things that work.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, you got to understand and ask yourself every single meal, why? Why am I eating this? And what do I want from it? Because I think we're in a culture where it prioritizes the question, what do I want to eat? What sounds good to me? Vince, for the answer for me, I don't know about you, but it's Cinnabon. I want to eat a Cinnabon right now and always.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, a big warm cinnamon roll, big glass of milk, yes, sign me up. That's what I want to eat, right?
Right.
But if I think about that and I go, hey, you know what I want for breakfast? Cinnabon. Then I'm going to get on the 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast and be dog shit tired and just have no energy, so my why today is I need to show up big time. Vince is having me on his podcast. I got clients I'm going to coach. I got someone I'm talking to. I got a sales call. I need to be showing up for these people in a really powerful way. And then when I get home at 4 o'clock to see my family, I need to be focused, present, and ready to rock with my kids, take them on a bike ride, something like that. So I'm going to eat in a specific way that gives me the outputs that are important to me, the financial success, the relationship success, showing up big time for my communities, for my people. And I can't do that off of Cinnabon, right? So at the end of the day, now it's not necessarily hey, what should you 3 different tips to make sure that you don't eat cookies during Christmas. That's all superficial. You need to analyze, why is this important? People go, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds. I say, who cares? Why is that? Why?
Why?
I want to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, I just want to make sure I live a little longer. Well, why? Well, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle and I don't want to pass early like my dad did. Bingo. Okay. Now we got a why. Now we're working. Now we're cooking with gas. So that's rather than having another tactic or a tip or a protein shake recipe, which I got them, they're in the book. I wrote the book up, so I don't have to talk about it anymore.
Right.
we gotta think about why are we coming from and where are we going? Do our inputs and our outputs match? Because if our outputs, we want financial success, relationship freedom, just a great, happy life. And all we're doing is feeding inputs of the news and toxic stuff and reading YouTube comments and then eating processed foods and refined sugars and stuff like that. Our inputs do not match the outputs we say we want.
Right. Your goals. Exactly.
Line it up.
Exactly. So it's important that the first thing people do in preparing to build that $1 million body, you have to establish your why. Why do you want it? Right. And once you establish the why, now you're going to take the necessary steps to start going about getting it. Correct? That's the next step. But you have to establish that why. That has to be very important to you. Otherwise, every year is the same. Every year, holidays come, we eat more than we need to. New Year's come, we want to lose weight. The number one, resolution is to get in shape, lose weight. All right, next to finances. So how do we stop this from being the same old year in, year out? So you have to establish your why first, right? Now, what about when it comes to exercise and nutrition though? Now we know why we want to do it. What type of nutrition should we focus on?
So now that we've kind of established all these things, now we can start asking the fun questions, I think. Yeah, like what should our nutrition look like? And so if I can kind of walk through how I see like an ideal day, yeah. So basically what I want people to be doing, especially people who have some sort of insulin resistance. And if you have insulin resistance, there's 2 ways to know it. Basically, well, 3 ways. You can go to the doctor, you can get an expensive blood test. They'll tell you. Number 2, you can take a measuring tape, measure your belly button, and measure like at your belly button and divide that by your height, waist height ratio. If that's above 0.47, you've got insulin resistance or some degree of it. Right. Or if you can grab your belly and you have like 2 handfuls, you have insulin resistance. Yeah, that's just it. So if you're dealing with that, you're going to have a hard time ever really feeling like you break the cycle. Like you're always feeling hungry and tired because your insulin and your blood sugar never are matching up. They're always kind of off, and your body loves homeostasis. So you're always going to be feeling a little bit run down. So in order to level that out, level the playing field there, and then make sure that you are feeling good. So that way it's like now we can start sustaining rather than just kind of grinding it out, white knuckling, motivation. You want to be able to have a high protein, high fat breakfast. And this could look like eggs and avocado. My favorite is a protein shake with some peanut or almond butter in it. And then my favorite thing to do before I have I do like a big activity day. So this is my skiing breakfast, chicken thighs, and a 1/4 cup of almonds. Feels so good afterwards. If you just like clean burning energy all day long, throw a little Tapatio hot sauce on there for breakfast. Awesome.
So you get the protein and you have the fat, right?
Yeah. Steady time released energy all day. No quick spikes. Right. Even people are like, oh, oatmeal. Like oatmeal's healthy, right? It can be, but it can also cause big spikes in your blood sugar and insulin. So if you got insulin resistance, you're not going to necessarily get the same thing out of oatmeal as like someone like you, Vince, who's obviously like dealt with that, feeling really good, and has like your body's really capable of using the carbohydrates you give it.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
So we got to get to that point first. You're in what I consider phase 3, right? Most people come in phase 1, looking for a fix, looking for that fat loss before we get to that phase 3, the muscle metabolism, the building mode.
Right. Now, but how important, like, could you mention breakfast? How important is breakfast when it comes to, let's say, jumpstarting your metabolism in the morning?
So I used to be a breakfast hater. I used to be big into like the 16/8 intermittent fasting. But what I was finding with that is that a lot of these business owners, entrepreneurs, they would go and then their biggest meal of the day would be lunch because they're hungry. Right. And then it would shut them down. So like they have that big meal, right? We all familiar with that Thanksgiving feeling, right? You loosen your belt, you sit on the recliner, you watch the Detroit Lions lose a football. It's a tradition.
Exactly.
You know, we don't want to go play pickup basketball right then. You know, we want to chill. So if you're having a big lunch, you don't want to go like get deep into your task list, follow up with clients, make more financially successful decisions. You want to chill. So I find that having breakfast in the morning is a great way of keeping that lunch a little bit lighter, giving the ability to do more work in the afternoon. In terms of jumpstarting metabolism, I don't really think that's necessarily a thing. I don't think that I think that the idea that like eating more small meals kickstarts your metabolism has been disproven a bunch of times. So I don't think that's necessarily the thing, but if you can give yourself some smooth energy all day, and I love the proteins and fats because what seems to help people start getting into a fat adaptation, like a fat burning ability. So without having to go into ketosis or check your urine on strips or whatever else, you can still teach your body to be better equipped to burn fat, especially during the middle, like the beginning and middle of the day, when most of us are sitting at desks, doing work, thinking deeply, maybe going on walks, but we're not like out building houses or digging holes. We don't need a lot of carbohydrates.
Right, for that. Exactly. But what about as soon as you wake up in the morning, do you advocate for people to drink water before you have your meal? What do you recommend?
Oh yeah. So in the book, I have 7, what I call them 7 daily investments. My morning routine, this came from, I got 2 little kids at home. My daughter's 3, my son's 8 months.
Nice.
And so my hour-long morning routine with gratitude, meditation, journaling, all this nice stuff, kind of came to an end like when my daughter was like a year old and she's like, I'm up too. And I'm like, all right, dang it. So I got like 5 minutes now. So 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink 32 ounces of water in the first 5 minutes. and I'm going to do 60 seconds of explosive exercise. So jumping jacks, explosive push-ups, shadow boxing, jump rope, just 60 seconds to get me up and running, get you from that parasympathetic nervous system, like that rest and digest they were kind of coming out of for sleep, move right over to sympathetic. So now we're shake and bake, baby. Like we're ready to roll for the day. So you're gonna get more energy from those two behaviors than waking up when a lot of dudes just like pour a cup of coffee with one eye shut and drink that, So that's my first of the daily investments that I think people need to be incorporating. And you know what? That's free. That's free dollars right there.
It's free. But okay, so drinking 32 ounces of water, why? That's the question.
Because at night we get dehydrated, right? We're breathing out moist air. A lot of people don't realize that when we're in the gym, we're pumping it up, we're on the elliptical, whatever. We're not burning fat. What we're doing is we're burning through muscle glycogen, we're breaking down muscle tissue, and we're sending signals to our body of what we need to do later. So our body primarily burns fat, but actually burns it at night. So when your body's going through the autophagy process, when those cells are coming in and pulling out, broken down and partially, like partial cells, and replacing them with like fresh, clean, new cells, that's when our body is burning off fat. And most of that time we're breathing out, we're exhaling the fat out with carbon dioxide. So when you wake up and you're going to be dehydrated, getting the water back in your system is one of the best things you can do to continue that fat burn process. And also, if you're dehydrated, even like a 3% decrease in hydration can drop your strength levels by like 30%. And 3% is a lot. Like you'd be real thirsty at 3% dehydration. But like imagine going from 200-pound bench press to 160 max, or whatever. Like that's a significant, right?
Big time, most definitely. But also drinking so much water also helps to flush your system. Am I correct?
100%.
A lot of toxins and everything else. So that's another good reason. And I think also it does something to kind of suppress the appetite somewhat, where you're not going to just start eating
more volume, right?
Right. So I think it helps, to drink the water at first in the morning before you do anything else. I mean, that's what I do, and I'm a strong believer in that. Now, what about again, we talk about during the holidays. How often would you try to get your fitness regimen in during the holidays?
Every day.
Work out every day?
Yeah. And I was on that like workout every day, like train hard, especially like during COVID. I got a gym in my garage. I was just kind of like a thing to do. But I was getting kind of beat up and burnt out a little bit. So I switched back to like being like 3 times a week, 4 times a week of training, but everyday movement. Move every day, all the time, no matter what. So for me, that's like I put on a little weight vest and just go for a walk, take my kids for a walk, get on the bike. I throw them in this little like trailer behind me, and I just, we go down this little canal near our house. It's awesome. But like every day we move like that's just a non-negotiable. Every day you're getting out and doing like some sort of like physical movement, like detoxing your body through sweat, through like burning off some of that sugars, the glycogen. But like, yeah, if you have a workout routine, it doesn't stop because of the holidays, right? Like keep it going. Like, you probably have even more time right now. And then like maybe your friends or family are in town, bring them with you. You bring them up. You don't let them bring you down. Like a rising tide lifts all ships. So if you're trying to develop a fitness routine and you're starting to get into it and you're like, oh no, Aunt Susan's coming to town again. She's like, right. Bring Aunt Susan to the gym with you, put her on a treadmill, put her on an elliptical, like make sure that it's a family event. You go like after Thanksgiving, whatever, you'd be like, all right, everybody, we're going on a walk right now. And normally I do that just so I can go smoke weed with Uncle Robert, but like, but just take people out and go get them moving, right? You got to be that paragon. You got to start it off, because when people see you doing something, it's gonna be so much easier. Everyone knows that I'm kind of a nightmare to be around during the holidays, because I'm like, all right, everyone up, let's go. It's 6 a.m. So if you want to be a fitness minded individual, you got to bring the people with you. That way there's that public accountability as well.
Oh, most definitely. Now, what are your feelings about supplementation? Do you recommend any supplements for weight loss, for building muscle? What do you recommend?
Yeah, I just think everyone should be on fat burners all the time. No, I'm just kidding. No,
like what?
You're like, that's kind of contrary to everything else you said.
Exactly.
So I have a couple supplements that I really like. I don't consider protein powder really supplement. It's more of like a whole food for me, just because it's
a meal.
It's just so easy to get a protein shake in. So protein for sure. Whey protein, great. Like no problem. If you're trying to build muscle, I love creatine. Creatine monohydrate is like the most widely studied sports supplement in history. It's dirt cheap, although the prices are going up right now for some reason. I think there's a creatine shortage.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I always recommend everybody taking a D3, vitamin D3, because most of us, like, especially when we were living in Seattle, they don't even test for that vitamin D deficiency. They're just like, yeah, you're pretty pale. You're going to need some vitamin D. So if you're going to get D3, make sure you get the drops for better absorption rate. And then you make sure they have a K2 element to it. Yes. K2 is a mineral that helps the D keep from leaching any calcium out of your bones or soft tissues. Prevents hardening. Good. Everybody gets that. And then zinc and magnesium. Everybody gets zinc and magnesium. It's because most of the time I work with men, zinc and magnesium is incredibly helpful for just hormonal support, sleeping better, recovery, repairing tissues, and then sexual health too. So like that's what everybody gets. And then I got a couple others that I like here and there that I'll sprinkle in, but not like, I'm not taking that many supplements.
Yeah, but that's really good advice. And I agree 100% with the suggestions that you gave. Now, I understand you have a 5-day sugar detox program. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, we are actually just wrapping that up as a part of the $1 Million Body group on Facebook. It's a community that is like just super cool. Everyone in there is awesome, just really, really down to earth, helpful fitness community. So if anyone wants to join that, you can go to n8trainingsystems.com/group to jump in there, and you can get access to the free sugar detox. But I'll just lay it out for you. It's really, really simple. It's helping people get to the point where they can do a full 24-hour fast without feeling like super hungry, worn down, and tired. So to start day one, it's really simple. It's exactly what we talked about. Wake up in the morning, 32 ounces of water. One of those glasses, because I do generally 2 16s, is I'll put a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of lemon water, help with the digestion, help with the insulin resistance.
Nice.
Easy, right? Tastes like feet though, no problem.
Tastes like feet.
That's right. And if it doesn't taste, if it tastes good, it's probably not healthy. So you gotta have something that tastes a little gross to get that buy-in.
Yeah, this is a 5-day detox. So,
yeah, yeah. And then day 2, the water in the morning, and then we do a physical detox every day after your meals. You go on a 5 or 10 minute walk, just move around a little bit, help your body digest that food a little bit better. Really? Day 3, those 2 things, and then we add in what's called a healing salad. My wife invented this while we were in like Colombia, eating like literally like barbecued chicken hearts from some guy on the side of the street and just drinking light beer. Like my body was like, what's going on, bro? Like, can you give it a break? So my wife we'd go to like the market, grab avocados, cucumbers, tomatoes, lemons, and red onions. We put them all together, kind of like we can get those pretty much in every place we were in South America. And then like, I just feel so much better. It turns out there's a awesome like combination of vitamins and minerals in that mixture. And so it's just a great way of like hyper nutrientizing your body.
Right.
Yeah. And so then that's day 3. Day 4, we do a fast. So day 3 at night, we have a good healthy meal, and then we don't eat again until day 4 at night. So it's a 24 hours, but it's only 1 sleep.
Wow.
And then day 5, you go back to the day 2 breakfast or the water and the walks and see how you feel. Most people lose about 5.5 pounds on that. And also they can see what a powerful tool like a 24-hour fast is in their arsenal and how it's not that big of a deal. It's really easy to knock out.
Huh. That's amazing to me. And it's only 5 days, which is great. I mean, I heard of people talking about 30-day this, 30-day that, but it's only 5 days, which is, I think, more doable, and probably right after the holidays too.
It's nice. It's we started running it the day after Halloween, so that was perfect.
You did, really? Oh, after the candy. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, after the dad tax on all those Reese's.
Awesome, man. Look, Nate, tell my listeners more and my viewers about where they can order the book, $1 Million Body Method.
If you join the group, at NateTrainingSystems.com/group, I'll just hook it up with a free PDF version of the book, or you can also go on Amazon. You can get the ebook there for like $2, $3, and the hard copy for $15. And if you left me a review, I would just love you forever. So that's best place to grab it.
Yeah, but actually, I did read some of the reviews. I mean, they're all 4 or 5 stars. I mean, they're great reviews on the book. It's amazing,
Thank you. It was I think my first one, I had more fun writing. It was a little bit more funny. I had a lot more anecdotes and stories and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was a collection of tips. It wasn't transformative. $1 Million Body is less funny. Got some information in there and stuff. But at the end of the book, you'll have a 28-day system that'll help give you some great tools, give you some great results. And it's really what I call phase 1 of fat loss. So it's like faster fat loss. You're going to lose more weight. You're going to see some great results, and you're going to get some momentum.
Wow. Awesome. Is it more geared towards men or men and women?
More geared towards men. That's kind of where my marketing goes.
Okay.
But anyone who is a person who has to kill to eat, basically. Like if you go out, if you're an entrepreneur, you gotta go get business. If you want to make money this year, that book is for you.
Ah, good. Excellent. I know a lot of women who have husbands who would like for them to kill and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they may want to share it with them as well. But how can we find out more about Nate Palmer?
Check me out on Instagram. That's kind of where I put most more personal stuff, family stuff. Like that's where that's where I'm hanging out, having a good time. So find me at N8 Training. The Facebook group is going to be a good spot to catch up. NateTrainingSystems.com/group. Or you probably find me on MySpace. I don't know. I haven't been on there in a while, but maybe.
MySpace. What? That's cool. Any last words of advice for people who want to build that $1 million body?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. My number one thing, and this is good, goes exactly back what we talked about at the beginning, Vince. Like the reason you're so successful, you got 181 episodes right now, is because you didn't quit. You kept going. And that's my message to people right now. If you're thinking about this through the holidays, like, oh, you screwed up, you ate too many cookies, you overate, you drank too much, doesn't matter. Keep going. You cannot lose if you do not quit. And that applies to your business, your relationships, your physical fitness. You cannot lose if you don't quit. Your victory is already guaranteed as long as you keep putting that one foot in front of the other every single day, just doing a little bit. That's all you got to do. Never give up on that, and you can always get a win.
I love it. You only lose when you quit. If you don't want to lose, don't quit. Wow, I love it. Nate Palmer, on behalf of Body Scope of New York, that's my nonprofit, and 6 Weeks of Fitness, I truly want to thank you for coming on my show today.
Thanks, Vince. It was a pleasure, man. Thanks for letting me rant.
You were great. And to my viewers and listeners, I truly hope this program was informative, encouraging, and inspiring, that you will continue watching 6 Weeks of Fitness. And if you have any questions or comments for the show, leave them below in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And don't forget, always remember, we don't stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising. Peace.